Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are currently on the test server today because, well, there's something fun that I have found out while I was doing some testing with a new fusion with Blizaar the Howler, because, well, most of us are looking at it, myself included, as he's a pretty underwhelming hero, okay? Like, he's not the best champion in the game. He brings some quirky stuff. He brings like this triple hit at random that can be useful for some control, plus for the finite on hard. Then he brings this AoE hit that does a freeze and pushes back the turn meter. Plus he can bring some protection on the A2, and then he has a quirky passive that basically keeps himself, you know, that can keep revive himself. And honestly, I was thinking when I saw this one, I was thinking maybe he has potential for Bommal. Like, I've seen the Hell Hades already posted a video about it yesterday. It's funny because we asked in the content creator chat. I asked in the content creator chat so we can get this rotation of Bommal so I can test it out. Hell Hades beat me to it. Shout out to him. So, you know, in case people are going to be again like, oh, you're copying the idea. We thought about it. Stuff like this happens. You know, content creators think about stuff at the same time. I just wanted to emphasize that because I already had a few comments with people saying some weird stuff about last time when I did my video on Burangiri, Lady Annabelle with Sun Wukong. But basically what I was trying to see is, can he help beat Bommal on 90 hard? And this is going to be mostly for people that are early, mid, maybe creeping into the late game to try and do this one. And maybe, you know, especially people that have Sun Wukong, because I tried it a little bit. He cannot do it on his own as easily because there's too much stuff that can go wrong, and the longer the fight, the higher the chance of bad RNG. However, I tried the usual stuff, kind of same with Burangiri or Lady Annabelle with him, and I said like, okay, let's see, does it work? And it actually did. It actually did. I did give him the usual, you know, regeneration set plus immortal, then paired it with Sun Wukong with the what's it called, Brimstone, and it actually does work. Is it perfect? No. Is it 100%? No. But you only need to do it once. And I feel like, you know what, because of this as well, because of the fact that he can be helpful for Bommal as well, again, if you're somebody that's early, mid, maybe late game, it might be worth it to build him, okay, to go for him. It might be worth it to go for him because he brings a little bit of versatility in the sense of, like I said, he can bring you some control on his A3, that he brings AoE freeze and turn meter push. He can bring you the freezes on the A1. He can bring you increased defense and ally protection. So he has a pretty decent overall kit. And the fact that he can also be useful for Bommal on hard gives you an extra reason to actually build, you know, an extra reason to build him and book him. I do believe that he's worth it. Again, if you're one of those ones, early, mid, maybe late. If you're end game, you maybe have a ton of other champions as options, so you wouldn't care about him as much. Okay, that's the way that I see it. And one thing that I also noticed, it's the fact that he actually hits pretty hard on that A3. I did some damage comparison between him, V6 and Gnut on their AoEs, and he hits the hardest. That A3 hits harder than Gnut's A2, and it hits harder than V6 A2 or A3. You know, I compared both of those hits. But the reason I'm saying like this is good, that it gives you, you know, gives you to him as an option for Bommal, is because, well, if you haven't already built any other one of those solo champions like Lady Annabelle, Burangiri, Samar, Gemcurse, or whatever, he might actually be good for this because, well, the way that I see him is in this build, you wouldn't have to constantly regear him. You would use him in this Regen plus Immortal build for control, okay? You could use him for his freezes, for his protection. He could be good in Doom Tower waves. Again, he's amazing for this one. So I feel like it kind of gives him a role, and I'm happy about that because I was kind of sad that he was released and it's like, yeah, he's useless. And look at this, we even got a pretty good time. The thing is, this one could also be improved by having Brimstone on Blizaar instead of having it on Sun Wukong. Okay, Sun Wukong does help because I do have Brimstone on him myself. Maybe if I did have an Awakening and if I did have Brimstone on him, maybe he could solo it. Because if he did have the Brimstone and he had the chance to land it on the boss, but it might be a little bit RNG because of the fact that this one hits at random. I'm not sure if you can land Brimstone on the bombs or not, but he might be able to solo it if we had Brimstone, because like I said, the With Brimstone, the fight will be faster, and then there's less chances of RNG happening, okay? But still, doing 90, the good thing about him is also the fact his affinity, okay? Because he's Spirit Affinity, and he's pretty tanky, you know, being defense-based, he has some really good base stats. He can be really amazing for Bommal. So that's what I believe, like, he's definitely going to be helpful for this one. Now, let's have a look at the presets, because there's obviously a little bit of preset happening in here. So Magnar is in there, he brought a bit of aura and then some more damage for the waves. You don't necessarily need them, you can bring anybody else that maybe brings you some aura, and between Blizaar and Sun Wukong, there should be enough damage to clear the waves. But when it comes to him, you only want to stop Blizaar from using A2 or A3 on the boss. He's just going to keep doing A1. The fun thing about him is the fact that when he does the A1, he has a 50% chance of landing a freeze. Because it's at random, you have a high chance of always keeping the side bombs frozen. And if they are frozen, they do half the damage, okay? That's really important to keep in mind. Because again, the bombs, when they explode, they take away 40% of your max HP. You cannot influence that with increased defense or with decreased attack or whatever. It just straight up takes 40% of your HP. So two of them popping, that's 80% of your max HP. However, if they are frozen, that goes down to 40% only. It gives him time to re-heal and come back to it. So, you know, this is really important. And the thing that makes him good for this strat in particular is his passive. Because, like I said, this active skill on a 3-turn cooldown after it's booked, whenever he dies, he's revived and he gets 30% HP and turn meter, but he also puts a revive on that. So, if he does get revived and another bomb pops, then this one has a chance to keep him alive. So yeah, that's why Blizaar's pretty good. And then Sun Wukong, the usual stuff, whatever he wants. Wave 1, Wave 2, I locked the A3, and then I made him prioritize this one because I want to try and put the block buffs so the boss does not land that increased attack. I have a feeling, like I said, if we had on Blizaar the Brimstone, that would be easier and would make it work. Now let me show you the build and masteries. Sun Wukong, same the usual stuff that I had before. Cruel, Immortal, he's basically my Hydra build. Just build to do damage, have enough accuracy to land the stuff. War Master, masteries and whatnot, so nothing too special. But then the Man of the Hour, Blizaar, because the damage that I'm building is relying on the Brimstone, I can build him full tanky, full support. Okay, so went like this. I gave him the Oppressor. I think this one should work with a freeze landing on the side bounce, which means he's gonna come back to his turn faster, which means he's gonna heal more and he's gonna get that cooldown faster. So I feel like this one's the best one for him. Maybe this one could work as well because Sun Wukong is gonna, you know, Sun Wukong keeps dying and coming back. Maybe this one would be better. I think Hades used timely intervention on it. I have not tested like with this and that, but this is what I used. Support tree with lay on hands and healing savior because, well, this one does help when you have regen and immortal. It does increase the healing from that. Then down defense tree with defense, less damage from AoEs. Again, same principle. Rejuvenation influences the regen and immortal set. Again, as far as I'm aware. That's what I've heard several people say, so I think it works. Resurgent, delay death, obviously take less damage, and then retribution for a chance to counterattack, maybe in there. Then when it comes to the builds, I do have over 250 speed, like I think around 250 or something like that or more is helpful for him. And then just, you know, the accuracy, it's like this. If you have Brimstone on him, you want to have around 350 accuracy so you can try and land it on the boss. If you don't have Brimstone, I think the accuracy is around 250 because that's what you only need the accuracy to land freeze on the bombs, the side bombs, okay? So if you have around 250, just for the bombs, you're fine. If you need for Brimstone, 350, and then everything else stack up in HP and defense. You want a combination of both because the side bombs ignore your defense. The bombs that Bommal places ignore your defense. However, the hits from Bommal, they do not ignore your defense, so you can resist some of those hits as he hits a lot, okay? And again, one thing that can help a ton is the fact that having Spirit Haste to gain more speed, as you're gonna have 3 people that will die in there, you know, either 3 fodder or it's gonna be like Magnar and the other 2 fodder like I showed. And I do have him in Regen plus Immortal. It's like, you know, I do have a rare piece, I do have a 5-star piece that it is awakened, but still, you know, it's everything else is, I don't know what I have here. HP, then HP with defense and accuracy, and then accuracy in this one with speed HP. Not everything's fully rolled, so it is strong gear, but it's not, you know, like everything's fully legendary, fully awakened. But yeah, I guess this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. I hope this helps you decide if you're gonna go for him or not. But I have a feeling like most people are already doing the tournament event, and there's points in tournaments and events in there. So I feel like if you have the luxury to skip, especially the Summer Rush, or, you know, you might have to do the Summer Rush as well, because maybe you skipped something else in the past. So I feel like most people will actually get him, and if people were just too bummed out on him, maybe, like I said, if you're on those early, mid, maybe late game accounts, you can find a use for him. Also, I guess keep in mind the fact that we have this Cursed City of Cintranos that kind of requires us to have specific stuff in different teams. So he might be useful when we have to do, maybe, I don't know, we might have a Bommal, one of the Bommal fights to do where we can use the Ogrins only. He can come in there to bring us the freeze, because there's not many freeze heroes in the Ogrins. I think there's like, what, Gargo, and that's about it. I cannot think of anybody else. I know Gargo does freeze, but he's a Void Legendary. And then apart from that, I cannot think of anybody else. But anyway, this is going to be it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.